I think I'm live. I might be live. Am I live?
Well, hello, Crime Stoppers. Wait, gotta get the full effect here. Oh dear, I love the look. It's those are the one. Anyway, let's see here. Yeah, I kind of like it. What shall I start with today? There's so much to talk about. Oh my goodness. So some guy wins in a landslide, most votes ever in the history of ever. Never had votes like this ever before, beating the number 2 and 3 guys combined. And what does the news say? Half of Iowa doesn't like Mr. T. But the other guys dropped out finally. And I think Haley will finally drop out here coming up in February. I mean, actually, probably after this week. Because they're going to... Can I say the word? So stupid. Oh, my God. Anyway. That's the word I want. Yeah, they're going to do that. And they've been doing that. They did it in Iowa, and they couldn't pull it off because it was just too many. So this is the way it's got to be. Now, I'm going to put some links underneath here, and I'm going to put a couple links to Jim Willie and a few others that maybe, just maybe, are saying the quiet part out loud. I've been saying it since day one. Enemy of your enemy, not your friend. Simple as that. The Masons aren't going to take out the Masons. The deep state isn't going to take out the deep state. All right, let's back up. Hey, what? Really?
Well, hello there. I don't care.
He says, you're making a video. I got to be part of the video. Anyway, this is my buddy, and he says hi.
Hey, everybody.
Okay, so the bottom line is not anything is what you think it is. Nothing is what it seems. Absolutely nothing. You're on a plantation. It's a huge plantation. They gave some people on the plantation over there some flags, and they gave some people over there some flags, and they gave some other people some other flags, and some other people were like, "Hey, I don't want. Why don't you guys stop it? Go down, go down. All right, see you later." It's a big plantation. It's a big club. We're not in it. Turns out, most of the history we were taught lies. Turns out, like I was just making a post about the fact that we were already in the North American continent. We were on the North American continent, and I'm talking about the American Negro. But they want you to think that you came over in slave ships. Well, if you can do some mathematics, the math doesn't check out. There were too many people here. And see, it turns out that the Moroccan Empire, the breadbasket of the Moroccan Empire, was the Mississippi and Tennessee River valleys. And turns out their DNA matches with the DNA of the people in Africa and Egypt. Oddly enough, mostly Egypt. There's a lot of Indians. If you go check their DNA, it matches almost perfectly with people living on the Nile. So the people that live on the Nile, people living on the Mississippi, you can even look. There's a place called Cairo, and it was called Cairo before the pioneers got there on the Mississippi in southern Illinois. Go look it up, the city of Cairo. I've been there. Anyhow, so much to talk about. This turns out to be the ruling of the world right here. What they do is they take our sons and daughters, and we'll call sons and daughters offspring. Okay, so they take our offspring because you don't want to call them child rents, do you? And you don't want to be pair rents. There's paperwork to be done. And from what I've been told, the only paperwork that you can do is the paperwork that will take their bonds or the officers or whoever it is to court. That's the only way you're going to get on the do not detain list for real. When they realize that you know enough to stand up for your rights and then take them into some kind of court. But wait, how are you going to win in a court when the tiny hat esquires rule the courts from the very lowest courts to the highest courts? In fact, they're all of them esquires, all of them bar attorneys. Wait a minute, British Accreditation Registry? That seems like they might be working for the King of England. Maybe, just possibly. Okay, I'm going to put a link. Actually, I'm going to put a link over here right now. And I would suggest you guys go take a look at this guy. He's causing a bit of a ruckus over there on the X. Let's see here. His name's Ariel. And he's calling out people like Liz Crokin. And we're going to name names. I cannot substantiate any of this, by the way. But bear with me. Liz Crokin, Laura Logan. These are all people where it's one side. Okay, let's change it up a little bit here. And I'm going to put a link. Is that good? Yes. All right. You can go read that for yourself. And just go look at that page and see all the people he's calling out. What you have is the deep state taking down the deep state. It's like on the southern border, which is not too far from where I'm sitting right now. You had these one guys, and I can tell you firsthand that Sinaloa is recruiting. We'll leave it at that. But I know firsthand that Sinaloa gang is recruiting for the. Okay, so let's say we have this other gang who happens to have lots of Masons and lots of U.S. citizens in it, and they want to sell drugs and do this stuff too. They want to make lots of money at it. Well, what better way to do it than have some badges and guns on your side, call yourselves the good guys, you own the media, and you tell everybody that, oh my goodness, it's raining outside. Anyway, you want to tell the other guys, just heard the rain coming down, and it's, we're supposed to be in the middle of a desert. But anyway, you tell the other guys, and you tell everybody, oh, look, we're taking down the bad guys. Look at this. Look at this. We're making drug busts. Oh, look. Okay. So, but they don't tell you the part that, they take the drugs and they resell the drugs. A lot of you guys know this already. Right. We were giving them guns, and the idea was, let's see, we'll give them guns and then we'll track the guns and that'll tell us who the bad guys are. Yeah. Really? Did you believe that? Anyhow, what we have in the bigger picture right now is a guy that's getting you to sign a document that says you're a U.S. citizen so that you can be part of the corporation, and you give up all your unalienable God-given rights and you trade them in for civil rights or constitutional rights. Now, we set up this corporation to safeguard our unalienable God-given rights, and that corporation does anything but, as you well know. So, this guy right here, and this was 100%, like, you got to be a dumbass. You got to be just like stupid beyond, and believe me, I know some of the people that are watching this, you people are so fucking stupid. I don't have English words for how fucking stupid you are. That was 100% right there. That was right in front of your eyes. And I'm sitting in a state where they did it in front of your eyes. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it, peasants? The answer is nothing. And then you have this guy not only getting you guys to sign up and say that you're U.S. citizens, swearing on a piece of paper that because you got to naturalize, and the only way you can naturalize is to self-naturalize. They can't tell you who you are. You have to tell them. In fact, I just had a fun conversation with a friend of mine, and he got his paperwork back, and the first time ever in all the paperwork we've been doing, he got a response. And their response was, you told us that you were a U.S. citizen. And he did. Think about it. He signed on numerous documents. So then you got to send in paperwork that says, wait a minute, I'm not a U.S. citizen. And it was fraud. 100% fraud. Fraud from the time I was born. Fraud from the time you stuck me in a slave education school and told me what my name was. Because my whole life, I had been called Ben Hosea. Up until that time, I was like 4.5. And then I suddenly heard Ben Rogers. Who the fuck is this Ben Rogers guy? Why are you bringing my family into this? Oh, because you're in slave school and they want you to sign on the left-hand side. They don't want you signing on the right-hand side. So they teach you to sign on the left-hand side. And they teach you that this corporation is actually a government. It's not a government. It's a fucking corporation. It's a corporation that is 100% fraud. And I'm going to put some stuff down here. So you got the guys that do this, whatever it is. It can be drugs. It can be children. It can be, saying if I talk too much, I've had video after video taken down now. So they're not giving me strikes. They just take my videos down. And the way they're doing it, because I doubt seriously that they have enough manpower to actually watch my videos. They just have a crawler that crawls through and listens. So one way to trick the crawler is to mispronounce words. But see, the guys that do this are on both sides. I hate to break it to you. This isn't the good guys. Ain't no fucking good guys in this fight. I've told you this 100 times. Most of you think I'm just some crazy conspiracy theorist. But I'm telling you, ain't no good guys in this fight. Jim Willie will tell you the same thing. You can call them white hats or black hats. This whole fucking thing is being orchestrated by one mind. The one mind uses the black hats and the white hats to get you to think that there's good guys and bad guys. You got the one guy, and I will say this. There's the one side that doesn't do so much of this and this with children, but they still do this with women and certainly drugs and certainly guns. And this is the primary way these bastards make money. And it's finally come to the attention of some of the people who consider themselves woke that they fund both fucking sides, and they send money to this side and they send money to that side. And then they get the two sides to fight. You use up lots of bullets. We make lots of bullets. We charge you handsomely for those bullets, and we get them to shoot them at each other as much as possible. And we'll give you guns, and we'll give you rockets, and we'll give you anything you fucking want. Just keep killing each other. And why do you kill each other? Well, because you got a flag. My flag better than your flag. My religion better than your religion. And you believe it. Anyhow, turns out anything you see. I'm going to try and exclude myself from that because certainly I'm not getting paid. But if you go take a look at that link down there, any fucking thing you see that's on quote unquote mainstream or even alternative, quote unquote, alternative mainstream. And this includes, and we know that's a fucking military government Marine dude who tells you that he used to be an information officer in the Marines. And he used to do PR in public. Yeah. And he's still doing it. Yay, Trump. Yay. Anyway, the idea being is that, and they're telling you at this point, they're even telling you that it had to be this way. They let it happen to wake up the other side. 85,000 children had to be this way. Fentanyl coming across that border like it's water, like it's fucking candy. Let's see here. I've been on for 13 minutes. Statistically, 2 people have overdosed on fentanyl in that amount of time. They're dead. By the time I go 15 minutes, it'll be 3. About every fucking 5 minutes, somebody dies from the fentanyl. Okay. Chinese not happy with us, but I didn't get to finish telling that story. Chinese hate us very much for what we did in the Opium Wars. So they have no qualms about doing the same thing to us. None. And I've been over there. I can assure you that their memory is longer than the average Gen Xer. They raise their kids, reminding them about what the British and Americans did to them and how they stole the silver and sold them opium. They haven't forgotten. Most Americans don't even know that story. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, he was a president. He was a great guy. Delano family sell drugs? Never. Yeah, they sold a few drugs. And see, because the Chinese was that was a wealthy culture. That was a culture that had everything it needed. There wasn't much of anything they wanted to trade from the Americas or from Britain. So they just wanted silver. So they got a lot of silver for their goods and products, spices and porcelain and China and all kind of fun stuff that the populace in the West wanted. And they charged handsomely for it. But they wanted silver. They didn't want, I mean, really, what do they want? They didn't really have anything to trade. So they wanted silver. So they were draining the coffers of silver. We're going to talk about silver in a minute too. I should write that down so I don't forget. Because when it comes to silver, that's a story. I'm telling you, right now is a great time to buy. By the way, it's on its way down. Buy it when it's going down. Eventually, it's going to do that because they can't keep the handle on it. But anyway, before I digress, the Chinese still they have, from what I can tell, enough fentanyl coming across our southern border to kill every one of us 7 or 8 times over. Every American. That's how much drugs they have going on there. Okay. And it's tit for tat as far as they're concerned. You did it to us with heroin. We're doing it to you with fentanyl. Now, maybe, just maybe, I'm gonna write this down. We'll call him, this guy right here. Yeah. Remember him? Yeah. Who is the guy? Who is them that's doing the bribing? Yeah, he got 81 million, right? Oh, by the way, approval rating, as far as we can tell, that's the real number, right about there. Okay. These Chinese people have a huge amount of FRNs because of the trade deficits and because of them selling us all kinds of stuff, and them having this system where they have to invest in treasuries and bonds and so forth. And so anyway, the bottom line is they have huge amounts of money to throw around. And this guy came cheap, if you find out how much it was. I mean, he came super cheap. Okay, but there's this other guy. And they're playing this game. He looked like Pooh Bear. Pooh Bear and a few of the others have figured out that and I don't have any handy. Don't have any in my, anyway, but, oh wait, yes I do. Oh no, I don't. Oh yes, I do. Okay. These guys, the ones that are actually silver. That one's tarnished. Shinier one. That's a little shinier. But anyway, the idea being is that that stuff right there is going to be the Achilles heel of the bad guys. Okay. But how do I put this? Because again, deep state not killing the deep state. The Illuminati not killing the Illuminati. Okay, yes they are, but no they're not. They're not killing everybody. It's not going to be like a takeover of the good guys. What you have is terms of surrender being negotiated by one side which has won and one side which has lost the battle. But this one side that's lost the battle, they own the media, they own social media, they own the banking, they own every transfer, every time you use a piece of plastic, every time you write a check, every time you move money from one place to another, when it's not cash, they get a piece of it. Every time you work, they get a piece of that. Every time you buy a car, they get a piece of that. Anytime you buy any fucking thing, they get a piece of that, either through tax or through the transaction fees or something. These people do nothing. They are fucking useless, completely useless creatures. They have no creativity. All they do is siphon, right? Suck the money out of you guys. Us, all of us, suck the money, right? Never mind the energy. I'm talking about the actual physical stuff. Okay, how do they do that? Using this system of enslavement. That system of enslavement is going away. All right, so I've had some people just give me quite the ration because in one of my videos I said CBDC is probably not going to happen because they don't have the programmers. They're like, bullshit, they can buy programmers. Okay, I'll agree with that. And it's already happening. In other words, we already pretty much have the digital currencies. They gave it a test run with all these gajillions of coins, blockchain technology where they come up with all kind of shit coins and so forth, Bitcoins and any of that crypto. They basically use that and the systems that they built up around that to put the CBDC system in. They're already at the point where they pretty much know everything about you. They already have a social credit score set up for you. They already know where you spend your money, where you are, because you carry one of those things with you all the time, right? And a lot of people I've seen now here, I didn't see it so much in Hawaii, but in this city, I see lots of people never whip out a credit card, nothing. They just, like Costco or whatever, they just have their phone, blink, and done, right? You got to pay for that. They want a little piece of that. They want a little piece of that technology, or they want you to pay for that little piece of convenient technology. And the next thing that's coming that people can't seem to understand is using the blockchain, and they're going to make you, it's not just going to be your hand. It's not just going to be mark of the thing on your hand or on your forehead or whatever. You are going to be the blockchain. They're going to be able to identify you at the cellular level. And do those cells have good credit or bad credit? Do those cells have money in the bank or not? And it's not money, it's currency. There isn't any fucking money. This guy, and I'm going to just read this to you because it comes from, do I have that handy? I believe I do. No, I don't. Of course not. It's not there. Is it there? And the answer is no. Is it here? And the answer is yes. Okay, this is a lawsuit done by Our Lady of Grace at the Pickle Club, wherein he basically tells you about UCC 306. So there's a page here, Williams and Williams, and I'll put it here, where he has current and previous litigation. There's hardly anything there now, but in the near future, you're going to want to come here and read some of these lawsuits. But basically, if you go through and read that, you will see that your signature is how this whole thing works. We are bonded free men, which is an oxymoron. How can you be a free man if you're bonded? But they write bonds on us all the time, and they take your signature and they monetize that. Okay. And what they do is air. What they do is pieces of paper. See, they can't turn your signature directly into silver. There has to be some labor that happens there. But they can turn your signature into a piece of paper, and then you can take that piece of paper, into a bonded piece of paper, and then you can take that bonded piece of paper to a Fed window, and then you can return it for Federal Reserve notes, which are just notes, which are just promises to pay. So some people have figured out that it's all promises to pay, and we only have two things going on here. We have promises to pay and we have orders to pay, except for the minor detail that there's no fucking money. Okay, so what is in that system, that Babylonian money magic system? What is the Achilles heel? The Achilles heel is money, real money, right? Because right now all they got is currency. There is no fucking money. And once you understand that there isn't any money, the way they do, you can make all the money you want. And see, what they do is you have these fraudsters, and then you have these rapers. One of them, I've talked about the wig mores before, cotton wigs, conscious wigs, Democrats, Republican, red, blue. If you're in the red camp, well, bully for you. You're thinking that those are the good guys. They are better guys. At least they don't rape children, make all kind of products out of children. But what they do is defraud you constantly. And right now, they're going to get more people than ever before. I'm listening to it constantly to get them to sign a piece of paper that says that they are United States citizens, not USA. And I just got in an argument, Hawaiians constantly. Americans have the same beef with the corporation that the Hawaiians do. And see, the Hawaiians can't quite figure out, especially not on Maui, because if you've never been to Hawaii, you have to understand that the Hawaiians, they have a concept called aloha, and it really is, it's a thing. It's not just lip service. Aloha. Now they're doing a little kapu aloha, but aloha, it means hello. Aloha, it means goodbye. But best of all, aloha means I love you. And I hear this from Hawaiians now. Oftentimes they don't say aloha, they just say love you in English. But the concept of aloha, you cannot have aloha for evil people. I go make t-shirts. My t-shirt gonna say no aloha for evil, because you don't understand. These people hate you. They hate us. They want us gone. They don't is if they can extract some stuff from us before they get rid of us, great. But more than anything, they just want us gone. They hate us. And see, people can't understand the concept because you don't hate anybody like that. And you certainly don't hate anybody for just being human. Now, here's the thing. A little later, I am going to take some bacon and fry it up in a pan and eat that stuff. And it's delicious. That bacon came from an animal that's pretty intelligent. And if you asked the animal if he was down for me slaughtering him and cutting his belly up into strips and then putting it on a fry pan and eating it, that pig would probably say no. Okay. Kind of just like us. Okay. What they have done is gotten you to think that there's nobody eating us, right? And see, I watched some of my old videos because they're gone. But in some of my old videos, slowly but surely, click, 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 I figure out this is industry. This, and this. This is multiple industry. How is it industry? It is industry when it comes to blackmail. And I'm going to get back to G and the silver in a minute. It's industry when it comes to, I mean, it's the huge industry. That's how Israel does what it does. And they have blackmail on all kinds. They've got dirt on all kinds of people. And if they don't have dirt, they have leverage. And so they have people like Laura Luma and Liz Cooken shilling for this guy. And like I said, this fraud, right? But the fact that he's a billionaire and he comes from that class of people, it amuses me that Joe Sixpack, who's never had $100,000 in his bank account ever in the history of ever, never will probably, thinks that this billionaire, billion, thousand, millions, these guys don't even have 100,000s. And they think that they're on the same side. And then there's some guys, better yet, that make like, say, I don't know, 400,000s in a year, and they think that this billionaire guy is on their team. He ain't on your fucking team. What he wants you to do is prosper. Why does he want you to prosper? So that they can fucking take money from you. They mean to rule us. Ain't no good guys in this fight. And until such time as the populace figures out there ain't no good guys in this fight, we got problems. And we will be ruled. So a few people have started to figure out how the money works, how the system of fraud works, where they get you to say that you're a U.S. citizen when you're not. You're an American, born on American soil. And then we got this other clown, and he's a pretty powerful clown, that says he owns the North American continent from way back when these guys stuck a flag in and claimed it. Right? We've got a flag. Okay. He ain't your friend. I'm telling you again, not your friend. Okay. Better than the ones that do this with children. But they still absolutely make their money in guns. They make their money poisoning you using, let me draw here's my excellent piece of artwork. Wait, I'll put a little drop there. Yeah, using these things. Oh, wait, let me put a couple of things on there so you can tell. It's full of poison. All right. So using these things, see, we have now advanced to the point where we are the natives that were in the cargo culture, because we can't seem to understand that I do, and I'm sure most of you do, that this is what's responsible for so many people just, suddenly not waking up in the morning and suddenly falling over on the soccer field. So many movie stars, and take a look at how many of them are just gone. This wasn't a very effective weapon. Okay, now, between that and technology, again, we don't understand, that creates wildfires, other technology we don't understand that creates weather, other technology we don't seem to understand, that somehow, I don't think I'm going to cover that one. But anyway, weather, wildfires. Oh, there's one I can cover. Earthquakes. Oh, it's just an earthquake. Certainly that wasn't caused by men or any kind of weapon or any kind of machines or any kind of harmonic frequencies. That's just, earthquakes just happen. They just happen to happen in Turkey. They just happen to happen in Haiti. They just happen to happen wherever they happen to happen because, it's an earthquake. And then sometimes earthquakes cause tsunamis. Oh man, that gets rid of a lot of people and wipes out a lot of business and a lot of economy and so forth. Okay. Let's take the example of Hawaii. If there were still 900,000 Hawaiians in Hawaii, I guarantee you politics in Hawaii would be different. But what do? Every single time, wipe out the native population using technology, blanket technology, simple technologies. And then we'll sit around because we're not evil and we can't conceive of such things and chalk it up to, it's act of God, it's nature, it's disease. What are you going to do about disease? Except, no, they cause the disease, they make the disease, and now they're engineering diseases. But they were pretty aware of what disease could do way back in the 1700s, and they understood the concept. You want to take the castle, cut a bunch of heads off, and get some livestock and so forth, and don't throw them in there fresh because then they'll take them and eat them. But wait for them to get putrid and rancid and nasty, and then put them on the catapult and throw it over the wall, and the people in the city will get diseased and die, and then it's easier for you to take over the city, and you don't have to use bullets and so forth. Okay, nothing changed, cuz. They never changed nothing. Their plan is the same. It's been the same. They use the same fucking technology. They've got 4 horsemen. They only know how to use 4, and they do the same thing every time. And the 4 horsemen are being used by either side. Because you got to understand that part of the reason why a lot of the people, what's the word I want to say, capitulated to this guy, some call him this, is because he had the goods on them. That paperwork and video and pictures and so forth that the Mossad collects and uses for blackmail, he had access to that. And he would have a little folder. And see, here's the thing. The one thing that they can count on, and I've seen this with my own eyes again, even in jail, they protect the pedophiles. Because if you put a pedophile out with the common folk, that pedophile is going to get killed. Simple as that. I mean, this can be the lowest criminals, what you could consider the lowest, drug addicts and thieves and murderers and so forth. But you throw a pedophile in with them, and he'll kill the pedophile. Okay, they know this. If we find out you're a pedophile, they'll put you on the registry, and a lot of those guys are no longer safe. Because there was lots of people that figure out, oh, wait a minute, that guy's a pedophile. And he'll have an accident or be involved in a crime or whatever. Okay, that mindset is still the mindset of most good people. So all they have to do is go around the world and say, hey, we'll take these control files and we'll let the people know and let the chips fall where they may. So a lot of people, okay, no, sign whatever agreements. Okay, so you got these 3 guys that are now using different people who have different levels of knowledge when it comes to the absolute overlords that are running this show. And there are some that are trying to tell you that Winnie the Pooh, who was, by the way, they killed his father. I didn't finish that story. He was in a camp at 15. He has no love for the communists. So if he can bring down the Communist Party, he will. But in order to bring down the Communist Party, he had to infiltrate the Communist Party. And then he saw that the Communist Party wasn't the cream, it wasn't the top of the pyramid. It was actually pretty far down on the pyramid. So then he wanted to see, well, who, and a couple of these other guys, the bear riding guy and this guy got together. And they want a bigger piece of the pie, and they want to get some of them motivated by all kind of different reasons. The guy over here, the one that rides the bear, he's been at war with the same people we've been at war with for generations. They killed his czar. They tried to subjugate the Russian people. Absolutely. They murdered millions of Russians. These guys, and you know who I'm talking about, they're the guys they're the guys that own this. They're the guys that print the money. They generally wear, yeah, those guys. Okay. So these guys have figured out, and that's why if you read some of those drops, they told you who they were saving for last, because that's the biggest part of the beast. Here's something just for fun, because I was just scrolling and I put a couple things together. Show me the obese Jews. Show me all those big, fat Jewish women. Show me the hugely obese young Jewish girls. Show me pictures. Who owns all those fast food companies when you get all the way up to the boards? Who feeds the American populace with that shit food? There's like 7 companies that do it all. And anytime another company comes up, eventually they buy them out. Can't wait. It won't be long before Dr. Bonners gets bought out. But I mean, all the different, right? Okay. But these guys turn out to be a bit of a problem. And those guys seem to serve these other guys that are running this ant farm. And those other guys give us language, some sciences, some technology, but they got technology that blows, makes our technology look silly. And to us, it looks like magic, because technology that's greatly advanced looks like magic to us. Okay, but these 3 guys got wind of the fact that the plan was not just to subjugate and make money off of us. And like I said, they enjoy eating the bacon, but they can do without the bacon. And what they want to do is exterminate Hawaiians. They like exterminate the Hawaiians. They want to kill them and take their stuff. Catherine Austin Fitts will tell you, they just want to kill you and take your stuff. These are the same guys that have been killing you and taking your stuff since back in the days when Europe was trading with China. And what they would do, these guys, and see, they got conquered their own selves, and back before they were wearing tiny hats. And the guys that conquered them basically said, pick a religion, because you can't pick the one you want. Which brings us back to the what religion were these people originally? These guys, Moloch, Baal, Ishtar, Ra, and also Baal, and El, Israel. Yeah, right there. Right. Yeah. Let's see here. Universal symbol, downwards force. Upward force. Look familiar to any of you guys? Okay. Them guys have been trying to kill you and take your stuff using whatever politics they can since the beginning of time. Basically, since we've been marking time. And, Yep, it's just about go time. You are correct. I don't recognize that name. But this year is go time. This year is the year to prepare. So, and I've made lots and lots of videos about preparing. You should be at least somewhat prepared by now. Have some water. Have some way to filter that water. Have some way to make fire. Have some way to, store food. Have food storage, etc. Because these 3 guys are going to take on these guys. And actually, what's happened is they've already basically won. Right. So what's happening now is terms of surrender are being negotiated. Now, understand, these guys and these guys, they're in the same club. And the one thing that they all do is respect this thing called secrecy. So they ain't going to tell you about the negotiations that are going on. They're not going to tell you some of the things that I'm trying to put across here. And if I do manage to get something across that the video disappears, right? Because they own all the media, which makes it very difficult. So they can tell you anything they want about this guy. And as you can see, many of them will believe it. Right? The guy's a germaphobe. Nobody's pissing on him and he ain't getting pissed on. I guarantee it. He just doesn't do that. Even though it turns out as you saw in that other video, that yeah, there's a lot of good benefits to that stuff. But I'm telling you, the stories that they told you were insane. There's just no way it wasn't him. But people believe it. The idea is that they have to do whatever they can to try and slow down and stop this guy, because him and Winnie the Pooh and the Russian Bear Rider have kind of sort of figured out the game, and they want to wrest control from these guys. But here's the thing with these guys, and see what these guys have done now with this is criminal and punishable by that. Also, when you do this and commit treason, that's also all right. So some of those guys, from what I've been told and what's been intimated around the internet, have already been taken care of, permanent, sent to the other side, gone, not here anymore. And in their place, we've got actors and deep fake and all kind of crazy stuff. I was, and I should do this. I got to figure out where to post it though. But I saw a whole bunch of pictures of, oh, that was the thing. See, I've been avoiding it. The one name I didn't mention. Okay. That one right there was General. Double agent at the very least. True patriot is all I have to say to that. No. Yes, that's exactly it. But there seems to be many of them, not just, I mean, because I have one where we got 4 different pictures, and I would expect it, by the way. The guy's a spook, so what do you expect? But if you look closely, there's at least 4 of these guys parading around, telling you that they're this guy. Turns out I've counted now at least 3 of these guys. And I've taken screenshots and it's not the same guy. You wonder how he gets from place to place to place. It's a show. They're putting on a show for you, trying to get the masses to agree to, one, sign up in mass and become self-declaring on that registration form that you are that, so that you give up your unalienable rights. And a lot of you will think that you should pay your taxes. The other thing this guy's talking about, and he said it numerous times, let's give those guys more immunity. The qualified immunity that a lot of the Blue Lodge has, he wants to give them more immunity so that they can do all the things they do without you being able to do anything about it. And there's a whole bunch of people in the courts and in the Blue Lodge who act with impunity because they're sure that you won't do anything about it. And if you do anything about it, it won't matter because they have, like, say you try to make a complaint. Well, these guys that have, oh, and by the way, most of those guys. Oh, and then the other thing I didn't understand, but most of those guys, yeah, that's a title from a king, but they own the courts from the top to the bottom. There isn't a lawyer that doesn't have that on his card. There's no titles of nobility in the United States of America. There's titles of nobility in the United States, though, because the United States is owned by these guys and that king. And technically, it's not owned, it's administered by those guys. They do the administration. They're doing administration from the administrative branch. They're not in the judicial branch. They're in the administrative branch. They don't write judicial warrants. They write caprias. And then, see, there's a lot of people that are figuring out, wait a minute, those are war crimes. Who's going to enforce the law? You? Wait a minute, that's a war crime. Yep, that's a war crime. Who's going to do anything about it? And that's what they do. They literally, what are you going to do about it, peasant? So maybe the primary thing you can do is educate yourself, especially when it comes to the law, so you can defend yourself when they drag you into one of their courts where they do business and their business is to extract wealth from you. And if they can't extract wealth from you, maybe they'll put you in a prison or a jail, and then they get paid for every day you're in there from taxpayers who think that growing plants, that there should be a government that tells you that you can't grow plants or that you can't drink that milk raw. And if you do drink the milk raw, you should give them some money. Or if you do grow the plant and make a profit from growing the plant, you should give them money. And there are people that they believe this. They love this. Right? You wait. I think Nino Rodriguez, if you watch Nino, and Nino's Corner is worth the money. It's like $5. It's totally worth the money. Go do it. It's just not for anything else but the shits and giggles. But the idea being is that's patriot pacification. They don't want you picking these things up. Oh my God, don't pick these things up no matter what. And believe that this guy right here is going to make it great. It's going to make it great for you so it's easy to make money so they can take money from you. So that you don't buy a $20,000 car, you buy a $60,000 car and they get more tax and more fees. They don't love you. None of these guys want anything but money from you. When not even money, they just want your energy, your wealth. And they'll extract it from you using mind control. Oh, I should pay my fair share. Oh, I gotta get a license. Oh, I can't just cook food in my kitchen and then sell it to people. I got to get a license. Oh, I cannot just go on a road and drive. I got to get a license. How much for the license? Oh, I don't know, $200. And not only that, you got to pay tax on the car every year. If your car is more expensive, you pay more tax. Hence these guys. Then there's the other guys that just don't give a fuck. They don't care about you. They don't give a shit if they get money. Because they're gonna take it anyway. When you die, okay, and most of you will die intestate. You don't have trust set up. You don't even so much as have a will set up. And by the way, a will is a ticket to probate. And then a judge will tell your heirs what they should get for a fee. Of course, they'll take their little cut because they're not going to adjudicate anything for free. Oh, we'll appoint you one of these guys. If you can't afford one, we'll appoint one for you. There's your fucking first clue, kids. Are they doing it out of the kindness of their hearts? Most guys I know, they understand that those are public pretenders. They pretend, but their job is to extract. They're attorneys. They attorney you. Their job is to extract as much money from you as possible. Oh, wait, there isn't any fucking money. So they try to get currency. Oh, they try to, or they'll bond you. Well, keep coming back in the court. Every time you show up in court, we're going to put a little bond on that. And then at the end of it, we're going to hopefully extract some wealth on you to pay coupons on those bonds. And there's this whole economy that has to do with this and bonding that you have nothing, are not aware of. Anybody you know that's been to jail has been trafficked. Anybody you know, anyway, I'm not going to go there either. But there are some guys that absolutely belong in jail. The murderers and rapers and those people that will like arsonists and a lot of those. But, you know, they were on camera wreaking havoc and doing whatever the fuck they wanted. And how many of those guys went to jail? How many of those guys got even charged? Lots of businesses got shut down and had major problems because they got looted. And did anybody go to jail? Did those people go to jail? There's your clue. Okay, so let's understand who it is we're dealing with. We're dealing with these guys. They, not all of them, damn it. I have plenty of friends who are not involved in the synagogue of Satan. But you have plenty of these guys who are, in fact, okay, you can't negotiate with that, but yet they are negotiating. Because here's the thing. They've been busted, stone cold busted doing their, when it comes to elections, right? They've been stone cold busted. Okay. Like I said, they've been busted in their fraud. They've also been stone cold busted now because there's no, unless you're like completely fucking stupid, and it turns out a lot of people are completely fucking stupid. It's not, let's see, I'm not even going to mention that. Because what they're doing is apparently this is what's killing the diaper-faced freaks. But now you can start to see how that agenda fits in perfectly, because that right there is apparently the excuse they're trying to use for this. And you know what? There are some people that are so fucking stupid that they'll believe that, but there are a lot of people that aren't. There are a lot of people that are just like, no way, that's not. They know that this is what's causing the problem. Okay, that's a crime. Yeah, you just can't go around killing people, oddly enough, to this day. Okay, but they're like, well, no, but we're rich and we wear the tiny hat and we praise. Oh, I didn't write it down. What I need is a different pen. I want this pen for that color. Because we'll write it in his happy color. And it's actually the opposite, because his color is not this. Color is actually light blue. But anyway, this guy and his minions, they have a whole industry. And there's guys like Moloch and Baal and so forth, and they demand sacrifice. So it turns out it wasn't just industry, it was religion. And see, they do everything they can, including make movies, including making, it's happening down there in South America. It's not happening here. Yes, it is happening here. And the roads all lead to a place that no longer exists, apparently. But they all lead right there. Right fucking there. Okay, so this guy's, it has so many, this right here and this right here, it has so many uses. It's not one-off guys. It's not just some perv down the street. It's a fucking industry. It's a huge industry. And not only is it industry, it's industry that feeds multiple things. You have to understand. It feeds this, because they don't just eat the bread and drink wine. They eat the flesh and drink the blood, which is what that bread and wine is supposed to represent. But they actually eat the flesh and drink the blood. All right. If you partake, and if you're part of this thing and some of their crazy rituals that go on, and you guys, us guys, we use this totally different calendar. If you understand their calendar, on certain days, they require a lot of blood. Okay, this is not crazy talk. This is not conspiracy theory. This religion never went away. Sacrificing a chicken in the backyard. That chicken, what does chicken stand for? What does chicken mean? What is that code for? It's code for that right there. Okay. So she right in her email said, sacrifice the chicken, the Moloch in the backyard. I thought it was just a joke. It was just a joke. Maybe they weren't joking. And maybe this is deadly serious. And maybe when you start to understand, because it took a long time, even for me, or maybe especially for me, to figure out that this was feeding multiple things. Right? It's how the elite keeps power on the little guys, or on the guys that are underneath them, those people we call congressmen and so forth. Because if I got video of you doing horrifying things to children, you're probably not going to do anything. Again, I don't have to come kill you. Now all I have to do is tell the public. Now all I have to do is just make it so that lots of people in quote unquote the public know what you're doing, and the public will take care of you for me. And then I'll just make the story that you're a one-off, or you're not part of the religion, and it's not part of the these guys and Israel using that for blackmail to get what they want, to make sure that they make lots of money. Right? And then because these guys write all the history books, and these guys have the media, and these guys have social media, these guys also own the pharmaceutical companies, oddly enough. Very hard to get to quote unquote them, because they own everything, and they can tell the story however you want. Like they tell the story, oh, you guys came across on slave ships, you weren't already here. Oh, like, okay, let's change the story. We got these people. They hate these people. They're living happy. They hate them. They don't use money. Oh, they really hate them. They don't use gold and silver. Oh, they hate them even more. Everybody's fed pretty much. They only work a few hours in the morning and a few hours in the evening, and the rest of the time they're having a good time doing art and fucking. Oh, they hate these people. We call these people Hawaiians. They hate them. Okay, so they ran away and wouldn't want to fight. They were kind of want to be on the peaceful side. So they ran away, and these other people went looking for him. They sent Captain Cook, as a matter of fact, to go look for him, and they found him. Okay, they tell a story, a very similar story, something about all the children were going to be killed because there was this prophecy involving rainbows and all this other stuff, and there was going to be one that was anointed, and he was going to take over the islands. The way he was going to take over the islands is the Masons were going to give him technology called guns and cannons, and then he was going to go and wipe out all the other Ali'i and Koa that there were. And it worked. He did. And they gave him a flag. You recognize the flag. He didn't come with that flag by himself. There's another clue. And I can tell you, there are people that hate this story. They don't want to, and they get mad when I tell it. But the idea is that he went and on the Battle of Nuuanu on the island of Oahu, he pretty much took out the Ali'i of Hawaii, Maui, and Oahu. And he would have got the guys on Kauai, but that didn't happen due to a couple of storms and so on. And he never conquered. They just capitulated. But anyway, he wiped out in 1, 2, 3 weeks almost all of the aristocracy and old knowledge of the Hawaiians. And then proclaimed himself king and took over the islands. All right. And all of his descendants were Masons. All of them. Every damn one of them. And because these were exceptionally educated people and they had a methodology for memorization and so forth, and there's plenty of stories that missionaries will tell you, give the Hawaiians, once they taught them how to read, and that was at one point the most literate populace on the planet, because when because it was a tribal culture, and when the chiefs that remained told the Hawaiian people that they were going to learn how to read, sure as shit, they all learned how to read. And the ones that were in the kahuna class, you could hand them a Bible. They read the Bible once they were taught to read, and then they could quote any page in the Bible. You could give them the verse and number, and they could tell you what it said. They considered this the work of the devil. No, because they had a system of learning that was incredible. I know a few people that have been through it. It's no fun because it involves reward and punishment, and the punishment is painful. But sure enough, it makes you remember things because you don't want to get cracked. But anyway, the idea being is that they took over this the state, got rid of the Ali'i, put this one guy in charge, and then very easily and quickly got them using money, got them currency, got them, and now they've got them dependent. They can't grow their own food. Well, they can, but they don't grow enough food to support themselves. They need ships to bring food over. But the idea is that they want to get rid of these people. They basically, what they want to do is kill them and take their stuff, because that's what these people do. They kill you and take your stuff. And see, most of you can't conceive of the fact that there are these people out there that want to kill you and take your stuff. And so you wind up letting them kill you. And then they take your stuff. And if they don't get you this way, they'll get you to wave a flag and go, oh, those guys are bad over there. And then moms and dads will stick fucking guns and pay for and send them off. And then their kids come back broken and commit suicide. And they can't figure out why. Still, I think it's 22 a day, every fucking day. 22 veterans from the U.S. military, not the United States of America military, the United States military, the corporate military. We don't have an American military. We have a United States corporate military. But anyway, the United States corporate military takes these boys, 18, 19, 20 years old, puts them in the cannon fodder, put them in the meat grinder, and get them to do all kind of horrifying things in the name of God and country. And then they come home and things are not so good. All because this guy right here, oh, they love it. They love it. When you kill each other, him and his servants, they just cackle. And I'll not even get into the metaphysical end of things. We'll stay strictly on the physical side today. But the idea being is that these guys took over this other place. I think you know where it is. It's in that city right there. Who is Vatican again? Isn't that a goddess of the underworld or something? Anyway, the Vatican got these guys on the North American continent to go, hey, you're north and we're south. And actually, that story is probably pretty much a lie too, because what probably happened is the North went down and basically started slaughtering the South. Why? Protestants. If you can get the Protestants to kill Protestants, then you don't have to do it yourself. See, that's what they do every time. They get us to hate each other, right? Oh, that guy's wearing a pink hat. Oh, that guy's blue hat. I don't think they're wearing blue hats. What are they wearing now? Anyway, oh, that guy's wearing a red hat. Right? You see them. I've seen video. I mean, and you can see the expressions on their faces. These people have gotten to the point where they hate each other. Oh, wait. You like to fuck men. Right? And you're a man. So I hate you. I don't get okay, don't be putting on women's clothes and dancing in front of little children in libraries and then reading them stories. I got a problem with that. But if you just want to do what the fuck you do in your bedroom, I got nothing to say about it. Okay, but what they want you to do is get to the point where, right? And you'll see them on the street. You can see them. They're Americans, every fucking one of you, Americans. Oh, but you hate them because they're black. Oh, but you hate them because they're Democrats. Oh, but you hate them because they're Republicans. And if it can get you so angry that you'll stop talking to each other and actually start doing this, oh, they love it because you're not pointing the guns at them, are you? You point them at each other. And now we got this motherfucker right here. Oh, that guy pisses me off more than I don't even have English words for how fucking pissed off I am at this guy. Patriot pacifier. That's all he is. Right? Don't fucking tell me about this guy right here and what a patriot he is. Your first fucking clue should have been when he was so easily taken down. That was just a show. Right? And now this guy's going to come back and do it right this time? Are you people fucking high? Well, yes, you are. Actually, yes, you are. But the idea being is that he's going to come in and make everything better, right? We're gonna keep it great. We're gonna make it great again. And before we make it great again, we had to destroy it using this puppet. And see, this is the thing. Do you believe it? Because they almost tell you the truth, that they let them win. Because I know for a fact that our military, well, shall I say, the corporate military, certainly isn't my military, but the corporate military in Space Force, they have all the data, all of it. Right? Not just some of the data. They have all the data. They have every bit of this. They know where it came from. See, but a lot of it not admissible in court because these guys and these guys have made it so that they're immune. So they can do stuff like this to children and they're immune. And the guy is in front of crowds now talking about how we got to give those Blue Lodge people even more immunity so that they can do their work. Because when they violate your rights, you certainly wouldn't have these fucking peasants suing them, would you? But what these guys have done is made it so that all of their courts, they're immune. You try to get some kind of remedy in court, you ain't getting no fucking remedy in court. Maybe once in a great while, they'll put a couple out and then say, hey, look, it works. But no, overall, they can do what the fuck they want, to include bomb children, burn you out, whatever, shoot you on the side of the road because you got too uppity, shoot them in the back while they're running away. Doesn't matter. They're immune. Let's give them more immunity. That's how you know this guy's on your side. You wait. You thought the fucking liberal Democrat jackasses were bad? Just wait till the fucking Christian Republicans come in and they're on a mission from God. Yeah, you're gonna love that. Promise. Anyway, as long as this is continuing, the good guys have not won. And like I said, right now, there's a bunch of people, including myself, and I'm sure some of you, that are like, these guys, they have done so many heinous things that there needs to be that. And what they're saying is, oh, no. You ain't killing us. And you're not even going to replace our system either. Yeah. If they're true, what does that mean? Are you talking about the people in the cult of the crucified God? Because if you're talking about the people in the cult of the crucified God, they want to end the world just as much as these guys do, because it's in their book. And hell yeah, they're a danger. Because a lot of those guys think they're true, but they're not. Because if they were true, they wouldn't be sending their kids off to go kill people. Period. Anyway, the idea being is that these guys right here are stone cold busted and are now negotiating for their dear lives. And I think a couple of you have figured out that in this year, we're playing for all the marbles this year. Okay. And here's the thing. See, we have a little bit of a problem, or they have a little bit of a problem, because this guy's all same team. Like I said, left hand, right, Democrat, Republican, they're all Wigmores. They're all fucking Masons, all of them. All of these guys are also Masons. And don't forget, the Jewish Masons think that they're the bestest Masons. But the Masons aren't going to get rid of the Masons, and the deep state is not going to get rid of the deep state, and the Illuminati is not going to kill the Illuminati. Or if they do, they're going to make a lot of money doing it. Because it's true, the Illuminati and the deep state and the Masons, they do in fact fight with each other. But at the end of the day, they want to rule you. And it's just the philosophy of which way they're going to do it. Right? And they don't want, of course they don't want to be held accountable and have this happen. So they're like, well, see, what they have, and what this guy, I think, has been put in a position that's also rather difficult, is, and oh, do you notice that, and that, did you just notice that? Okay, anyway, the idea being is that this guy's been put in a very difficult position because they're saying, well, you can't do this, and we're not going to be brought to justice, and you're not going to try us in public, and you're not going to have hangings, and you're not going to do any of that shit because, you know, we own all the money. And if I tell you what, and we own the media, and so, and even if you do have, even if this guy, Mr. does have the goods on them, what if we just start nuking cities? What if we just start dropping atom bombs? You know how many of not atomic, but you know how much of our nuclear our arsenal is missing? Apparently more than one. I've been told by many people that you don't have to worry about nukes, but doesn't mean they're right. But the idea being is that these guys are like, you're not going to hold us accountable. You're not going to keep us. Yes, it absolutely matters. I love it. So you and Nietzsche, huh? Nihilists. Nothing matters. We're all going to die. Because at the end of the day, we're all going to die. It's how we get there is the important part. But anyway, the idea being, my friends, is that these guys are like, no, you're not going to hold us to account. No, there's not going to be any, quote unquote, public executions and so forth. We'll see. Because some of these guys have figured out that if you don't get rid of those guys, you don't do what you're supposed to do, we're going to take you guys out too. We're going to take them and you. And these guys are just scared enough to believe because they couldn't do this. So they every day, Rodriguez gets out there. Hey, just wait. Trust the plan. And who else? And the guy from X22, and the guy from SGT, and the guy from what's the other one? And we know, and all these, and Liz Crokin, and all these other guys. Like I said, go find that Ariel guy. All them guys. They all want to be. That last comment doesn't make sense. Or did you mean not the way? Yes, Alex Jones too. Absolutely, Alex Jones. Who's the lizard guy? Oh man. The guy that he's great, and then he starts talking about lizards, but he's actually on it too. But see, once you start raising these others into the realm of lizard, then geez, these are space aliens. We couldn't fight them. And then you got the other ones that are talking about how they'll get judged in the afterlife. No, because then it's shitty here. But the idea being is, man, I can see that guy's face, and I can't think of the name. An Englishman. They laughed at him for the longest time, and why doesn't his name come? And then he became popular because people started thinking, wait a minute, this guy's not so crazy after all. But the idea is that these guys right now are fighting. The one side has lost, but they don't want to be punished. And they happen to control the media. Yes, thank you, David Icke. But David Icke, Alex Jones, all of these guys, because it's correct. It is true that there is one side that does not think that doing this to children and making adrenochrome and stuff like that is okay. So they want to put an end to that part of it. But they still want to rule you, and they still want to tax you, and they still want to take as much money, and they still want to make sure that you don't stand up for your unalienable rights. And they want to tread all over you and your children. Okay. The point of this video, ain't no good guys in this fight. Yeah. Exactly. Thank you. And that's exactly it. They're trying, see, our job is to try to make this place paradise on earth. The kingdom of heaven is within you. I want to say I wasn't going to go metaphysical, so I'm not. But I mean, the idea being is that our job is to make this place a lovely fairy paradise, not the shithole that it's becoming. And there are still plenty of places you can go and ignore all the stuff that's going on in the Middle East, and all the stuff that's going on in Yemen, and all the stuff that's going on in China, and all the stuff that's going on. I mean, there's in Africa. Oh my God, what's going on in Congo? We never hear about the Congo. While these idiots are talking about using, they're going to fight using slave labor from Africa to get the rare earth minerals that you need to build the devices that they say are going to combat this. Now, here's the other thing when it comes to that. Again, the carbon they want to reduce, go look in the mirror. That's the carbon they want to reduce. Okay. You see, we have a pact, we have a covenant, we have an agreement. We breathe out carbon dioxide. The plants give us back oxygen. The plants need carbon dioxide. We need oxygen. We have an agreement. Further, if this plant, that's just the basic agreement. Now, this plant gives fruit. If we eat that fruit, there is another basic agreement that we are supposed to spread the seed. We're not supposed to starve the plant to the point where it can't make seeds. Only this fucker right here would come up with that kind of plan. Oh, eating watermelon seeds, that's too difficult. Oh, I don't like to squeeze my lemon and have a seed come out. There you go. That's absolutely correct. And they don't want you doing that. See, once you figure that part out, a lot of your fear should disappear. Because, yeah, they can only kill the body. But the idea is that we have agreements that this guy is getting us to break. And the agreement that they're right, because we're supposed to take the seeds and plant the seeds. We're supposed to take the plants and propagate the plants. Yeah, we're going to eat you, but we're going to make a lot more of you. Same thing with the pigs, same thing with the cows. Right? Yeah, we're going to eat you, but we're not going to eat all of you, and we're going to make sure that you continue. That's the way it's supposed to be. Now, we've got these guys saying the same thing to us. We're going to eat some of you, not all of you. We want you to be wealthy and happy before we eat you. And I'm not being facetious. It turns out there is a race of people. They're sitting in Davos, and these guys are talking about, oh, they're eating Wagyu. Look in Davos, and you can see that almost all not almost, all of the sex workers are booked for Davos. That's the kind of people that are in Davos. They're not just dining on Wagyu while they tell us to eat bugs. They're dining on that also. But most people aren't ready for that. They couldn't even handle this. I'll write this. See, and this is the other thing. Some of them are actually pimping for their minions, because a lot of their minions, pretty talking heads, are also on the chopping block. And they don't want some of those pretty minions to go on the chopping block because they want to be able to continue to control your mind. So they don't even want you to know that those pretty minions are part of their club doing horrifying and disgusting things. But, the average person couldn't even handle this. So they certainly aren't able to figure out that right now in Davos, right now, they're concerned about this. They're not concerned about this. They're dining on this. And they look at it the same way I look at frying up some bacon. So life eats life. It's as simple as that. And this guy, many of them, AJ, David Icke, and so forth, they tell you every day that life eats life. But they don't tell it to you like that. They try to tell you that, oh, there's these lizard people. Okay. There might be. But there are people that are definitely not lizard people that are engaged in this kind of stuff. Why? Because one, if I can get video of you, now I control you. Two, some of these insane people believe that this guy and Moloch and Baal and so forth require that sacrifice. And if they do that sacrifice, they get rewarded. Meantime, these other guys, the Christians, they're thinking their rewards are in heaven, right? That you store up your rewards here by doing good works, and then you get rewarded on the other side. I have a problem with all these stories. While you're here, the job is to make here as much of a paradise as possible. I shouldn't have to walk outside. Well, actually, that's not true. Around here is a pretty good neighborhood, actually. But if I get in my car and drive a little ways, I'm be driving by people that don't have a home. Be driving by people that are literally laying on the sidewalks. You can do that now in any major city. In fact, every major city, not just America, all over the world. That is a symptom. That's not the problem. And what the symptom is we've got these idiots that are absolutely, yeah, I know, it's getting annoying, isn't it? And see, this is the problem, is that if you can't change their minds, you can give them all kind of facts, you can give them all kind, but they're so mind controlled. Their heads are and it takes a while to wake up. Right? It takes a while to realize these things. And if you don't want to wake up, it's even worse, right? And then the problem is once you wake up, you can't go back to sleep ever. As I look back, there's quite a bit of shit that I know that I wish I didn't know. But once it's seen, it cannot be unseen. Once it's read, it cannot be unread. And a lot of these people, I love this right here. That's good. Anyway, the idea being that these guys are in the business of controlling your mind so that they can extract as much wealth as they can from you. And that is a huge industry, and it is planet-wide. It's the whole plane. starting from the languages and the idea that you're white and Russian, you're white but American. In fact, even in my family, those were Lithuanians, but then it came over here, so now they're Americans. And these guys over here in Africa, they're different than the other guys, like right across the river in Africa, and they should fight with each other, and they do. Let's see here, down there in South America, you got these guys, right? Okay, because people, as long as they're fighting with each other, you're not focusing on the bad guys. And the bad guys want you to think that they're the good guys. And the way they get you to think that is they tell you a story about white hats and black hats, when in fact, they're either all white hats or all black hats. But there's not really two of them, right? The idea that these guys constantly put thoughts into your head to the point where you think they're your thoughts, but actually they're not your thoughts. They're somebody else's thoughts. And if they can control those thoughts, they can chain you to the sky, get you to give up that crazy idea that your rights are given to you by God. In fact, they'll get you to the point now where you're not even a man or a woman. They, them. They try to get you to give up your rights. It's a very extreme campaign because if you're not a man or a woman, you have no rights, because only men and women have rights. You've got men, mankind. We have rights. Our rights were given to us from the Creator, God. Right? And this guy right here would like you to think that he's a creator. He's not a creator. He's just a bastardizer. He is part of creation. Now, here's the thing. If he's part of creation, who created him again? Okay, but see, we're in planet free will. We're in place of free will. This is the planet of free will. This is the place you come to exercise your free will. And we're in this big, crazy storyline that you have these guys that we can see that are in pretty much in control, in power. This would be, like I said, in the United States. And then you have these other guys who are behind the scenes controlling those guys who are in power. And those guys don't want to be found out. Now, some of these guys in power have figured out that some of those guys behind the scenes are evil and don't want anything good for anybody, including these guys. And I'm talking about Winnie the Pooh and Mr. T and the Russian Bear Raider guy. So they have decided that they're going to inform the populace somewhat, not completely, right? But the idea is that those three and a few more have gotten together and figured out we don't want anything to do with these guys, and they're only sucking off the energy and making this place miserable and causing division and war, because that was the other thing that this guy did. And you can't argue the point. He was a peacemaker and he was making peace. So that pisses them off even more, because like I said, if you're not using bullets, well, they don't make money. If you're not doing this, they don't make money. If you're not, okay, because that's all they're doing is siphoning wealth off of you. Okay, that guy and those other two look like they really are in a fight with the powers behind the throne. But that doesn't mean these guys are going to give up power or not rule us and not tax and license and fee us. They're not going to, quote unquote, set you free. You're still going to be taking your shoes off at the airport. They're going to be doing as much as they can to regulate commerce for their benefit. And see, that was the other thing that this guy did that was making him crazy. All those regulations and all those taxes and all that kind of stuff where they were siphoning off, he got rid of a lot of that. Why did he do that if he means to rule us? Well, because the more free you are to make money, because see, these other guys, the Democrats, had gotten you so tied down that with all the regulations and all the environment, and see, they'll use the environment or they'll use this because, you know, deep down, they know you're good people. And of course, you don't want to destroy the planet you're on. And of course, you don't want to, right? Okay. So they use your goodness against you. and have gotten to the point where you can barely do anything. So, you can't be productive. They've actually cut the production of United States way down with all these regulations. And that makes it so that these guys are thinking, well, we won't collect as much tax. He's the spear point. He's the tip. This guy and this guy, their hats are not white. Although he says he's a white hat. I mean, all I can say is the only reason that a lot of this stuff is happening and a lot of the stuff didn't happen in the United States is because of these. And if we didn't have these, the story would have been completely different. They're still trying to get rid of these, and they're still trying to make sure that those of you that have these don't use these against them. But they have told some of these other guys, these bad guys, and these guys that worship here, and these guys that have done all kind of naughty things, using this and weather and earthquakes and all kind of other stuff to demolish the populace, that if you guys don't cut it out, in fact, we're going to make you cut it out, because if you don't cut it out, they're going to take all of us. And that's what they're most afraid of. Right? They're most afraid of the fact that you guys might wake up and take them all down. The guys that are calling themselves white hats, the guys that are calling themselves black hats, all of them guys. Right? And see, these guys, the white hat guys, they're telling these other guys, you can't get a complete pass, because if we give you a complete pass, they'll come kill us too. And that's the way it's got to be, man. Okay. Oh, wait. I'll be right back. I have to take a short break. We've been talking how long now? Oh, just an hour and a half. Give me a short second. We'll find out where the cat is. Okay, that was a brief intermission. Thousands of dollars worth of stem cells wasted. Hopefully some of you guys have gone through a couple of videos and gotten those books, Water of Life and etc. I'm telling you, it'll change your life. It'll turn your hair back from gray. It'll get rid of wrinkles. It'll definitely get rid of wrinkles. I have less wrinkles. And I still got circles under my eyes, but these used to be terrible on both sides, and now they're much less. The one side less than the other, but it's starting to go away. My last thing to do is teeth. Anyhow, and then I use these things. Notice how they're not actual sunglasses; they're pinhole glasses, and they help your eyes. Simple as that. And when you're using these things, talking about pinhole glasses, I found out about pinhole glasses from the lady that created the pinhole glasses. Just so happens, a long time ago in a land far, far away called California, I was at a Whole Life Expo, and my booth was right next to her booth. And so all day long we talked, and very interesting story. And of course, she came up with this simple thing. And do you think the eye doctors were like, yay? No, exactly the opposite. The people who are now in huge amounts of trouble for administering this, and guys are still administering this because they get paid, and by now they know. And here's the thing, guys, if I know and you know, they fucking know. They cannot claim ignorance. Anyway, the guys that she was dealing with tried to put her out of business and tried to shut her down and so forth, because you wear these, they actually improve your vision. Because what they do is make your vision worse and worse. Where, think about that, you have to pay them just to see. You have to pay them just to read. Think about that. Anyway, when you use these things, read something close, small, and then look at something far away. And then look at something close, and then look at something far away. And watch TV, and then quit watching TV. And when I say watch TV, I mean look at a screen like this. I don't mean like actually watch TV. I don't watch TV in forever. But anyway, look at, that's just generational because I'm old. That's the generic term like Xerox or Kleenex. But anyway, the idea is watch some video and then look away. And then watch some video and read. I have right here, Chinese menu. Okay, we deliver. Read small print. Right, read the small print, and then go back to watching TV, and then look at stuff that's far. Okay, it exercises your eyes. Your eyes have muscles in them, just like every part of you, and these things work. As simple as that. And not all of them are created equal. Some of them are shittier than others. So there should be super cheap. You shouldn't be paying $25, $30 for this. $2, $3 from China. You can get these on Wish and so on. But they absolutely work for improving your vision. They will. Okay. And then I usually talk about a few other things. Oh, let's talk about this. There is a transition coming. These right here, it's not pills, are nickels. Just plain old regular old nickels. Me was you. Take a $10 bill and go down to your bank and go get a roll of nickels every once in a while. And then just go put those roll of nickels someplace. Because this is still a nickel. This is worth about 5 cents. Go look at the coin exchange and see how much a nickel is worth. A nickel is worth about a nickel. Quarters are not worth quarters, and silver dollars certainly aren't worth silver dollars, or what we call silver dollars, because they're not made out of silver, and they're not dollars. Constitution tells you how much silver is supposed to be in a dollar and how much gold. So if you have one of those, and you can tell by looking at the edge, that is not a silver coin. That is just a slug that has... Oh, and did you notice they face this guy the other way on the new ones? So the idea is that real sound money is probably going to return. And the way we're going to get the sound money is those guys are going to use this against them. How are they going to use that against them? Well, you want solar panels, don't you? To fight the to fight the climate change. Well, the idea being, might see this got flagged. But see, the thing is, the chance that an actual human will, after just a couple, see, because you need a few flags, from what I understand. I still don't know how the whole thing works. And then a person may actually, notice I use the word person, may actually review it and then give you a strike or take the video down. So if you use it repeatedly, right? Okay, so if you don't use them at all, the first stage of their censorship is to use some kind of bot or crawler to go through and listen to, all the different sounds that I'm making. And if those sounds match the certain sounds that they have on a list, the video gets flagged. So if you say this out loud, or if you say this guy's name out loud, or if you talk about this right here and this right here, when it comes to that right there, they'll flag you and take your video down. As it is, go back and look. I know you guys, I don't know how many of you here, I've got like 10 people watching. And thanks for all the likes and so forth. And like I said, go back and watch at 2 times speed. And I'm always impressed that you guys will sit here at regular speed and watch me ramble. But the idea is that word right there is definitely a problem. So here's the thing. We're now at the point where these guys who are in control of this thing that you're watching me on right now don't want certain words even spoken. There's a clue. Now, this guy and this guy, almost 4 years ago, 5, 6 years ago now, could have made some huge changes and protections, because there are certain corporations. Well, actually, all the corporations in United States are chartered by United States. And if they violate Constitution, they shouldn't be able to keep their corporate charter. That's not how things work. Now, here's the other thing we found is that these guys right here, they also have corporate charters. we call them banks. And the banking that they're doing, often many of the things that they do runs contrary to our Constitution and violates our unalienable rights. Who's going to do anything about it? These guys own armies. They own companies. They own corporations. They own corporations that you think are countries. They own United States. They own Great Britain. They own Australia. They own New Zealand. These are corporations that they own. They own it all. So it's never, ever about the money. Because if they want money, they can just print money. What it's about is control. And a couple of people in here have kind of, sort of touched on it. It's a spiritual battle, as it turns out. We got a battle going on here, a battle royale that does matter, by the way. Good versus evil. Simple as that. And again, I haven't mentioned it this time, but I've only said it ad nauseum on almost every video. It's the simplest thing. You've got the left-hand path and you've got the right-hand path. This path harms the children. This path nurtures the children. You don't nurture children by making deals with this guy. You don't nurture children by saying, well, you know, it had to be this way and we had to show the normies. I'm calling bullshit on that completely from top to bottom. Fuck you. I mean, really, you're gonna sell us this story. You're gonna treat us like children. You're gonna tell us that we can't handle the truth when it comes to the JFK assassination because it's too heavy for us, because we're little fucking children, and you guys are the ones that can have that knowledge, but not us. 10,000 of these. It's been years. These guys are still operating. Oh, we're not going to unwind a 6,000-year-old death cult in just 4 years. I don't know. Publish some names and numbers. We'll sort it out. We know where these people live. They all, well, except for some of them who may in fact not live on the surface with us. But the idea being is that most of them are reachable by the common folk, and they don't want the common folk reaching them. Simple as that. Yeah, there you go. See, and that's the thing. And that's who put false heroes. The idea is, if you want, there's a great meme, and it was shoot, I can't remember the guy's. This one I honestly don't remember. But anyway, the idea is, if they need a hero, we will supply a hero. We need a hero, so they're supplying us with heroes, but they're not heroes. They're heroes that are absolutely under control. They're heroes with control files. They're heroes that have been involved in this and this. You ain't got no heroes. There's no friends on your team. So, there you go. Albert Pike. That is correct. Albert Pike, right? If they require a hero, we will supply them a hero. Okay, so they supplied you this guy. They let it happen so that you could see, so that this guy would know who his friends and enemies were, so he would know who's loyal and who's not. Really, kids? You're buying that story? Now, this guy right here and his cohorts had better fucking start fixing things quick, or they're going to get right. And see a lot of his videos. I know exactly where he is because I live there. Right? Like, I know exactly where that film. It's only showing his boot, but I know where he's at. I'm not the only one. Right? And I'm in no position to do anything, but I guarantee you there are other men that are. See, and we're starting to find out that this whole fucking thing is so evil that a lot of these guys have been besmirched with the evil, but they really are repentant. They really are sorry. They would rather not. But if they don't comply, or if they don't go along with the program, they'll get killed, and they don't want to get killed. Because a lot of them are afraid, because they don't have belief about the other side. Right? I have no fear anymore whatsoever. None, zero, none. Like that guy's, whoever wrote it here. You can kill the body. You can't kill me. And that's part of the reason why they hate us. Because some of them have bodies. You can't even kill the body. And they're stuck here forever. And this is a great place. But I think after multiple millennia, you might want to do something else. And they can't. Anyhow, I'm going to quit here in a little bit, but the point of this whole thing is it's up to you. You got to free yourself. The Christ is within you. You're in a battle of good and evil. It's a great show, but you got no friends. That ain't your friend. That definitely not your friend. This guy right here, not your friend. Enemy of your enemy. Definitely enemy of your enemy. This guy, definitely enemy of your enemy. But see, he's in a business where the babies just come with the scenery. They teach you words like collateral damage. And to keep that and get rid of like to live in a world that doesn't have militaries, that's crazy talk. To get live in a world that we nurture the children and we make sure all the animals are well fed and taken care of. That's crazy talk too. Right? Me telling you that you probably shouldn't get organized and kill each other. Oh, that's crazy talk. We've always been doing this. Well, it turns out we might not have always been doing this. These guys, once again, may have been giving you some history that was because we have plenty of cultures, evidence of cultures that don't seem to be warlike. That seems to be something they taught us. That seems to be something we learned. That doesn't seem to be natural. Well, hello. I haven't seen that guy forever. Go back and watch this on 2x speed. Let's see here. Yeah. Imagine if we didn't send $200 billion to Ukraine. Some people are starting to figure out, well, yeah, not only do we fund both sides, they launder the money back to themselves through these operations. But imagine what 200 billion with a B would have done in 50 states, in the 50 corporations that are running the territories, Hawaii and, state of Florida on that panhandle part, state of Texas in that part in the middle, state of California on the one coast, state of New York, which is actually New York, really? New York, right? Cults. But anyway, if we'd spent and divide that money up between those 50 different places, clean water, wouldn't be any homeless people, wouldn't be. And see, this is the other thing. You're going to call it weather. Okay, I'll buy it because there is a ground solar minimum, from what I understand. But what if this is just crazy talk? This is just me spitballing it here. What if they used weather to make extreme cold? Because what happens to people in extreme cold? Yeah, they die. What happens to homeless people in extreme cold in tents? Yeah, they die. Are they going to open up the churches and let them in? No. Nah. Those true Christians aren't going to be bringing the homeless people into the church. They'll give them tickets to Hawaii once in a while, though. I can tell you that. My son was telling somebody that in Minnesota, and they straight up called him a liar. I can tell you for a fact, I've talked to, I don't know, at least 5 or 6 homeless people who had tickets, who were flown there. One guy was a crazy person, and he told me that his father had sent him there to get out of the cold. Really, your father just thinks, yeah, but it turned out the father was some guy in when after more talking and questioning and so forth, the father was some guy that worked in a either a homeless shelter or in some kind of agency that dealt with the homeless, and they gave this guy a ticket to Hawaii because they weren't going to be able to, right? Better than dying on a grate in the city, but at the same time, doesn't fix the problem. But see, here's again, in their crazy rule book, they just raped United States for $100 billion 2 times. And the people didn't do much about it. They're just kind of, most people are just shrugging. Hey, football's on. Ooh, it's the playoffs. Hey, look at that. Taylor Swift's going to football games. So while you're doing that, they will continue to bend you over. Again, it's all of us or none of us. And step one, Christ consciousness. Right? Get the Christ consciousness. If you can't get the Christ consciousness, then fine, because there's a lot of people, that Christ, right? They throw the baby out with the bathwater. Christ, the anointed, sovereign, one who does not bow down to others, the Christ consciousness, one who is full of love, one who can heal, the Christ consciousness. There's a lot of guys waiting for a dude. The dude was the embodiment of the Christ consciousness. That body isn't coming back. But the Christ consciousness is already here, and you can do it here. You can accept it here. You can't accept it here. That's why you have to do it with your heart. You can't do it, right? And that's why when you see the chakras and the video and all the different things that a lot of the quote unquote Eastern cultures try to visualize and portray in their artwork and so forth, you'll see a line or an arc that goes, usually it's a green arc that goes from here to here. But that's the consciousness you have to accept, is the Christ consciousness. Now, once you get the Christ consciousness, that can make a huge difference. And I can assure you, they don't want the Christ consciousness. They don't want you they don't want you realizing that you might be a powerful being that creates. So what they do is keep you ignorant of the fact that you create. And I've been doing some experiments. There's some books you can buy about this, wherein you can prove to yourself that you're a pretty powerful creator. You can create good and you can create bad. Manifest, I'll take it. You can manifest positive and beneficial things for yourself, or not so positive and beneficial things for yourself. But guess who it is that's doing the manifesting? It's you, right? So here's the thing. If they understand that you're a powerful manifester, and they understand how this thing works. So if they can get control of this thing, well, you should see my hat hair, lovely hat hair when this is done. But if they can control this thing that helps you interface with creation and show you images on video and then get you to believe those images, right? They got you to believe. They got us to believe. I didn't believe, but they got us to believe that people were dropping dead from this thing that they couldn't see, and that if they put the thing like this on, they would be protected. So what did you see? You went out and you saw all kinds of people putting this thing on. Well, if they're putting this thing on, there must be that invisible thing which is why they're putting it on, right? And we helped manifest or create the thing that they were making. Okay, it works that way with everything, as it turns out. Right now, we're sitting at infinite possibilities, right? Infinite possible. You can, right now, click off, go do something else. Make yourself a cup of coffee. Click, go, I don't know. What time is it? You can go, and in Hawaii, it's almost 4:45. Over here, it's 6:45 in Phoenix. On the East Coast, it's an hour ahead of that. And you could be doing many things. You could be cooking dinner. You could be watching somebody else. You could be, I don't know, gardening. Well, no, you couldn't be, because most of this country, there is no gardening unless you got a greenhouse. Oh, and I was going to talk about that. Greenhouses. I actually invested in the company, but then the CEO of the company turned out to be a bonehead. But I'm telling you, greenhouses are going to be a thing going forward for quite a while. This isn't the last of the cold winters. And see, back in October, I actually put a bunch of stuff up talking to people to prepare, because this is going to be an exceptionally bitter winter. Now, I got sidetracked, and I'll come back to it. What if they were using HARP or other devices to make it cold? Why would they make it cold? Because they want to get rid of us. And are they going to get rid of the wealthy people that are in nice warm houses? Nope. Are they going to get rid of the useless eaters that have spiraled down to the point where they can't even put a roof over their heads? Yeah, those guys are gone. Now, those guys are easy to get rid of, and nobody cares. On top, that's the worst part about us. People don't seem to give a rip. But the idea that these people in houses can't be killed by the cold, well, maybe they could, because if we shut the power off, they've done that a few times to see how that works. And they're putting some noise in the air about, oh, there's going to be a solar storm, grand solar minimum. There's going to be a solar storm that knocks out the power, get completely knocked down the grid. And there's a lot of people that talk about when the grid goes down within 90 days, it's freaking Mad Max. And most won't survive even 90 days. Those people that live in the country with cows and farms, and they've got a huge cellar right now, and they're not getting on the road to go to the store, those people are going to be fine. So how do you get rid of those people? Oh, there's this scary thing. And a lot of those people fell for it. I'm amazed at how many preppers fell for that. Quite a few didn't, but more than a few did. I was reading over some statistics. If you can believe, it's all lies, but if you can believe it, something like 80% of the people in Hawaii, 8 out of 10, did this. 8 for 10. I looked up how many doses were administered. There's like 1.2 million people in the state of Hawaii. Wait. Let's not just talk out our ass. We've got all knowledge right here at our fingertips. Let's see. Pop. Hi. Google did not understand me. 1.4. Okay, 1.44. Okay, how many shots were administered? Something crazy like 3.5 or I don't know what, 3.5 million or close to 4 million. Okay, so that tells me that there was enough that everybody got at least one and maybe more. So again, if they can't get you with weather, they can't get you with an earthquake, they can't get you with a fire, they can't get you with, okay, how are they going to get? They get you to off yourself. Oh, they can't get you that way. My flag's better than your flag. They can get you that way. My religion's better than your religion. They can get you that way. As long as we're doing this and we're not doing that with them, they're happy. What we have is a large farm. Now, while we're doing this in large numbers, lots of people wind up missing. And you can snatch children left and right. And you never know, because especially when it's big wars and big bombs and big fires, you just don't ever find the bodies because they're either blown to smithereens or burnt to a crisp or whatever. So, that child or whatever it is goes missing. Must have been killed in the war. Certainly wouldn't be used for human sacrifice because those guys don't exist. Moloch, Baal, that's just crazy talk. You crazy people being silly. The idea is that this thing is happening and people are becoming aware of it. And now it's crazy because this is a thing that several people have brought up is when guys like me and others were starting to figure out that this thing wasn't a one-off and it wasn't just like a small little operation going on in this little town, that was being used to get a few maybe Republicans or Democrats or whoever it is, right? Turns out, no, it's a fucking industry. And turns out, oh, worse than that, it's religion. Okay, once we started figuring that out, that's when this happened. There was a distraction. Hey, you got to stay in your house. Hey, just give us 2 weeks. If you could do any math, you knew that was complete bullshit. But anyway, they pulled it off. And they pulled it off. Have you ever seen an isolate? I have written multiple letters. This has put me on numerous lists because I wrote letters, Freedom of Information Act requests asking, can you show me an isolate? Ain't no isolate. I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So how are they selling tests for a thing that doesn't even have an isolate? So what are they testing for? Right? I can take a glass of water and I can test it for, I don't know, cadmium and lead because I know what cadmium and lead are. But if I've never seen a lead molecule or how would I be able to test for it if I've never seen it? I can test for E. coli because I can take a picture. I can show you. This is an E. coli. If it's that big, we're in bizarro world, but you know what I mean. Here on this little slide in my imaginary fingers, I have some water, and in that water there is some bacteria, and I can take a picture of it. I can magnify it. Okay. Now they're trying to say that, oh, these, like I said, the stupid is just beyond my ability to comprehend on occasion. But they're telling you right now, there's all kind of stuff. Ooh, there's all kind of videos that you won't find here about germ theory. But you never saw this thing. You never saw it. And don't tell me we can't, because we're down to the point now where IBM, we've got electron microscopes taking pictures at the atomic level. So don't tell me you can't get a picture of this thing. You can't identify this thing. And now they've gotten so fucking lazy. I actually like it. It's because, oops, I didn't spell it right. That's supposed to be an E. Oh, damn it. Hold on a second. Oh. There you go. They're so lazy, they're not even giving it a name. But whatever you do, make sure you go out and get one of these. They don't even know what it is, supposedly, is the story that they're telling. But they're coming up with one of these to fight this. If you fall for this one, and there's 11 guys, and I'm not even worried about any of you guys, but a lot of your friends and families, I have so many friends. I have one friend, not one, but 2 half brothers, gone. And they can't figure out that it was this. I have another friend, mom, gone. She'll swear up and down, had nothing to do with this. Got another friend, just didn't wake up in the morning. Family will not admit that it was this. Got another friend, he was going to die anyway. I told him when he got this that you better get your affairs in order, and you've got less than 2 years. It was 20 months. Didn't even make the 2 years. And was I happy to be right? I've known this guy since we were fucking 15 years old. Was I happy to be right? Just like none of you guys were. But the idea being is that they will get you afraid of this if they can't get you any other way. And if you are, quote unquote, right with God, or if you've got Christ consciousness, they really want to try and get rid of you. So what did they do? They gave... Actually, they didn't give any of that because I just drew the wrong symbol. Notice there's a difference between the 3 on the top and the 1 on the bottom. This is what they use now. This is what they used to use. This is when there was sound money. This is when there was gold and silver. This is when we went straight to fiat. But anyway, they gave a lot of pastors some of this to tell you to go get this. Okay, we are in a battle. It's a battle for this. You got to educate yourself. You got to become aware, right? You got to talk about these things. And then you got to take action. You got to take steps to mitigate these people, because this guy wants your soul. He's not happy with your body. He's not happy with your money. He's not happy with your house. He wants your soul. The only way to get you to give your soul is for you to take one of these and agree, and then put your mark on paper. Your sign of nature, signature, right? An endorsement. And when you write that contract, there's magic that happens when you do this, right? I've got all kind of symbols all over here. And see, this is the thing. I use letters and so forth, but this is what rules the world. And I'm not talking about these guys. I'm talking about symbols, right? This kind of stuff. This kind of stuff. This kind of stuff. These rule the world, right? That kind of stuff, right? Pictures. Wait, is there one on here? Oh, yes, there is. Look, there's a, there you go. There's a whole story behind that. Just that one symbol. See, this is the thing. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Symbols are worth 1,000 words, and they want to make sure you don't understand the symbols. So you have to educate your mind, educate yourself, so that you become aware. And see, once you wake up, You can't watch TV. Once you wake up, you walk outside and you look all around and you see all their symbols everywhere. And they don't mean what you think they mean. And they're not white hats and they're not good guys. Right? What do that mean? And by the way, if they put that next to your name, that means you're not here anymore. Right? What that symbol, just that symbol. Oh, let's change the symbol up a little bit. Now what? Now what? I just changed the symbol. Anyway, the idea is that the symbols rule the world. And they understand that if they can get your two brains to communicate, and then you take up one of these things, and then you give your word, and then put your name on it, that's binding. And again, they don't just want the little guys, the guys down here, the three musketeers, Pooh Bear and Mr. T and the Bear Rider. They're happy with stuff, right? They want to, well, I won't say those guys, but in general, these guys want to kill you and take your stuff. And that's good enough for them because they don't know how to get a soul. But this guy employs all these other guys to try and get your soul, which is what they want. He wants your soul. And he gets pissy when you won't give it to him. And then it turns out all these people, and it's sad. Go take a look at some of the guys that have now made it into the music industry. And they went from sweet little girl or sweet little country boy or whatever to demon worshiping freaks that freaking do satanic rituals on freaking TV in the middle of sports events and concerts and stuff. It's getting down to the nitty gritty. And just be happy. Think about this. You get to be alive, and wow, this is all going on. And as I said, many of us have figured out it's crunch time. It really is crunch time. And the fact that we are either going to be free men or slaves. We're already slaves. We're slaves that woke up. See, here's the problem, or my problem. Perhaps it's your problem also. One day you woke up and you realized, wait a minute. None of this is what they told me. That's U.S. corporation. That's not United States of America. Wait a minute. There's an A missing. Hold on a second. My rights come from God, and they're supposed to secure my rights, and yet they violate my rights on a fucking daily basis. Hold on a second. Every other animal on this planet lives for free except me. The food should be free. The place where you lay your head should be free. And there are some people that are still doing that. The Hawaiians were doing that. That's why they hated them. They weren't paying rent. They were using the land. They were feeding themselves. They were having a good time. They were having free time. Where again, they made some great artwork. They did great statues. Their feather work was incredible. They hated that. Hated that. Yeah. Because seriously, we haven't paid for anything since like 1964. Right? When they took the silver out of the money. Because you're absolutely right. There is no fucking money. My son and I were making jokes about this, but there's no money. There's currency. There's going to be money again, though. I think there is. I really do. I think we're going to return to sound money. And the only reason why we're going to return to sound money is because we're going to kill every fucking one of them if we don't. Right? I doubt seriously this guy is an altruist. Right? This guy has already proven himself repeatedly to be a double agent. This guy is the tip of a spear of a bunch of people that really do want to get rid of some people, some of these guys. But those guys are often in the cult of the crucified God. So cult of the crucified God, Satanists, they all want to see the world end because their book says it's supposed to end. I had that book around here someplace and I don't have it handy. But the idea being that they're somehow on your team and that they want you to prosper and you to survive and your DNA to go on. No. If they do want you to prosper, it's so they can take your stuff. Right? They want you, why do they want you sick? Because if you get sick, then you'll go to them and pay them for health. They'll never cure you, though. They'll only give you little bits of poison at a time. That's this symbol right here, the two snakes. First, they bite you with one snake, this snake right here, and then you have to go back to them and they give you more snake because have you noticed that they have all kinds of treatments now for myocarditis? They have all kinds of blood thinners to get rid of clots. Yeah. The money was on the back end. The money has always been on the back end. But the idea that they're on your no. No. The point of the story here is that even this guy, and I agree that this guy is better than these guys, and he doesn't seem to be in the service of this guy. But the idea that he wants you to prosper because he wants you to prosper so that him and his friends can make more money off of you. You are the Duracell. You are what runs it. And right now, he's doing everything in his power to get people that have never signed a piece of paper saying that they were a U.S. citizen to sign a piece of paper that says they're a U.S. citizen. Why? So they can vote, so that this guy can come and restore the republic and make the world a happy place again. He got in, we were supposed to keep it, and they stole it right in front of they stole it right in front of your eyes. And nobody did anything about it because these guys own the courts from top to bottom. They're all these guys, and these guys don't want these guys to win. Is that hard to understand? It seems to be, because there's a lot of people that are buying the bullshit. Man, I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired. I mean, fuck it. I'm just getting tired of it. Not a patriot. Yeah, he's in the military. I'm sure of it. The babies just come with the scenery when it comes to the U.S. military. And they teach you that. Sometimes you got to get a few, there's going to be a few guys that get in the way when you're trying to get to the bad guy. And they'll tell you, well, yeah, we wiped out 30 kids, but we got the bad guy. Now, I won't. That sounds perilously like left-hand path to me. Now, again, the idea is there are 300 million of, I won't go that high. Let's go with like 125 million with these. What do they got against that? Nothing. And they'll tell you, oh, Joey, this guy, Joey will tell you that, we got F-15s. Hey, we own the night and we own the sky and we own the sea. And some rice farmers handed us our ass and told us to go home. So I can assure you that the guys on the North American continent that are, they would be a serious problem. And they want to make sure that they don't become a serious problem. It's pacification. Because this guy's minions, they all have names and addresses. They're actually clustered in some places on the planet. Here in the United States, it doesn't take millions of them. There's only a few thousand. I've talked about this a couple of times. How many are you looking at? White hats, black hats, you're looking at about that many. Seriously, that's a K for 1,000. All right, we've already wiped out that many in Gaza this time around. Okay, so we don't have a problem with the killing, clearly, because we can watch it on the news all day long and it's like, oh yeah, those guys are doing it. But if you ever turn these things on them, now they're going to have a serious freak out. And you'll see, due to the fact that this guy wrote some executive orders that this guy could have repealed with a stroke of a pen, but didn't, there's your clue. Now, we have these guys very concerned that you might do this and get rid of every fucking one of them. That's still in the realm of possibility. It's like very tiny, because what's most likely going to happen, well, not most likely, this is what's going to happen. Not like I know what's going to happen, but you know what I mean. The idea that we're going to continue on with this farce where the fraudsters continue bonding freemen. That's not going away. You're going to be taking your shoes off in the airport. They're trying to scare you with the 15-minute or 20-minute cities and AI and so forth. That's probably not going to come to pass because that's too much of a cage. And see, they've learned not to put us in cages. They've learned not to put us in chains, because when we get in chains or we get in cages, we want to get out of the cage and we want to break the chains. So what they do is they put invisible chains on you. They chain you to the sky with your mind. There's a book called Chained to the Sky, by the way, and I'd read it if I were you. Another one is Fruit from a Poisonous Tree. That'd be a good one. And again, all those guys, too long. Just keep your letters short. Keep your shit short. You don't need to write 23-page diatribes. Just keep it as short as possible. As fewest sentences as you can to get your point across. Hi, I'm not U.S. citizen. Hi, I'm born on soil, on ground, born on the land. Hi, I'm not dead. Just stuff like that. I'm non-decedent. Don't have to use big words. I got everything I wanted into like one paragraph. So the shorter, the better. The briefer, the better. But anyway, the idea that this guy here is going to set you free and fix everything, I've got bad news. And the idea that they want you to be free. Well, if they wanted you to be free, they'd tell you who these people were. And I can assure you that we could take care of it ourselves. But they ain't going to tell you who they are. Or they'll tell you one at a time. Because I think that they've made this big deal to try to get the attention of everyone. There's a list of names. And these are people that went to a certain island. They're scaring the shit out of those guys and getting them to comply. Now, some of them are getting them to do what they want. Some of them have just disappeared, if you notice. Like a lot of people are missing. If you sit back and pay attention, there's a lot of movie stars that aren't making movies and that you don't hear about anymore. There's a lot of politicians that you don't hear about anymore. There's a lot of CEOs of big companies around the world that just quit or just have disappeared. They resigned and you didn't hear anything more. How many guys in the corporation called United States in that House of Representatives and Senate just went, I'm not gonna run again. I quit. So there is progress being made. Make no mistake. Like I said, the enemies of your enemy are definitely making headway, but they're not here to save you. Only you can do that. And me, not big fan of Martin Luther King. I'm not one of the Martin Luther King guys. I'm more of a Malcolm X guy. But Martin Luther King did say, hate does not drive out hate. Only love can drive out hate. Right? Darkness doesn't drive out darkness. Only light can drive out darkness. Pick a side. See, and I'm an extremist. And I'm tired, oh my God, tired of guys that stayed home on Easter Sunday because the government told them to, preaching to me about any fucking thing. And again, a lot of those people had guys in the front of the room telling them that you're not a good Mormon if you don't do this, or you're not a good Baptist if you don't do this, or you're not a good Methodist if you don't do this. Chain you to the sky. Right? They're not going to drag you down there and do this. They're going to get you to think, I should go do that on your own, voluntary. Because this is, like I said, free will planet. This is voluntary planet. The plane of voluntarism. Okay, so let's bring the voluntarism forward and cut the shit when it comes to having other guys save us. Because ain't no other guys coming to save you. They all have ulterior motives. They all want your brain. They all want your mind. They're in this for the mind control. Because if they control your mind, they don't have to stick you in cages. That's just a scare tactic. Because they know we don't do well in cages. So they made the cage huge. You can take vacations in this cage. That's how huge it is. You can go to in this cage, you can go over there and they don't speak the language and they don't look like you, but you're still in the cage. Because once again, they got to chain you to the sky. They got to get you to believe. So, and how do they do that? Well, these guys gave you history, gave you books, gave you education. Because these guys, not all of them, again, damn it, not all of them. In fact, there's quite a few that would fight you and completely call me a complete idiot and you know, conspiracy theorist and all other kind of names. Because, no, but there is a synagogue of Satan. But most of them aren't in it. Just like I can tell you, there are a bunch of people in the Pacific, and they say, "You Americans." You Americans, they're not talking about me, and they're not talking about a lot of you guys, because we got nothing to do with this. We got the same beef with these guys that are enslaving us as they do. But there are a few Americans, a few people that come from America that were born on American soil that you know, that absolutely do know. And they write laws and they indemnify themselves and make themselves immune while they stomp on your rights and steal your stuff. And they get little guys that have IQ caps that don't know any better to do shit for them. Because I can assure you, there are no long skulls guarding prisons. There are no long skulls. There are no others. There are no this crew right here. They don't do any of the dirty work. They don't do any fucking thing. They don't work at all. They just collect tax. They collect fee. They collect license. They collect interest on bonds. And they use the Babylonian money magic system to their advantage. Somebody said recently, what's the difference between rich and poor? Rich people know how to do paperwork. And I'm going to come back to the paperwork. Remember, I made a video called There's Paperwork to Be Done. As far as I can tell, the Judas Goats on this platform, they won't tell you that the only way to get on those lists that they talk about, do not detain and so forth, is to actually take the fuckers in. You either go in and put them in a position where they can't rule against you. And there's some ways to do that in small claims where they have no option but to rule in your favor. And that's a default judgment. And that's with using the 3-step process. I'm about to use that on some people here in this town. Turns out they just happen to be here. They're already running like pigs from the gun because they can't prove it. If you go look at the UCC and educate yourself. Go look at UCC 3. Go look at UCC 9 and read the thing. It's complicated on purpose. But the bottom line is, if you read, oh, hold on a second here. And I will just cover this briefly. But this knowledge will help you when it comes to any bill collector. And guess what? Courts are just bill collectors. Uh-oh. Let's see here. I got to go way back because I posted that a long time ago. I'm on my own Facebook page, by the way, is what I'm looking at. But it's just because it has it written nicely. Oh, that's the thing. I just scrolled past that. Use cash whenever you can. They hate cash. And so for no other reason, use cash. But hold on here. Nope, not that. I mean, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to post that again. Can you hear my fans going? Let's see here. What I want is UCC, and I'm going to read it to you, because once you understand these very simple concepts, you should have no issue with any bill collector ever again. But you got to be able to express the matter on paper. And again, I see so many people using templates that they don't understand. They just give me a template, man. They don't get a template because Oh, well, you shouldn't use a template because a lot of people throw shit at the wall to see what sticks, and they have no idea what the words mean, or they haven't looked up the laws. And sometimes, and now with AI, which is amazing, AI will just like make shit up. Like people will like cite cases. Like this one lawyer got in trouble for that because the AI cited a case that didn't exist. And, the guy trusted the AI, of course. All right, let's see if I can find this. Facebook is doing this new thing where they don't show you everything at once anymore. Let's see here. There's how they, if you go scroll on my page, you'll see the algorithm they use to do that to this, or the other way around. I'll post it at the bottom here. All right. Oh, here's a couple of things to remember. Money of account is not the same as money of exchange. And residency does not confer citizenship, but it does confer jurisdiction. That's hugely important. You need to know what the res ID means. All right. Am I going to get more? Yes, I'm going to get more. There it is. See, it was the very next thing I wanted, and it wouldn't show it to me. All right. So here's what I want. I want you to understand how this works. If they try to tell you what kind of money to send, right? You need to send certified funds, or they won't take Federal Reserve notes or whatever. Well, they're in violation of UCC section 3-309 and 3-306. Actually, the other way around, 306 and 309. Let's see here. Discharge does not require funds in an account, right? Only paying on open accounts does, right? So the idea being is that a mere tender of an instrument is discharge, according to 3603. Refusal is also discharge. So they can refuse a valid instrument. You can offer to pay them in Federal Reserve notes, and they say, I'm not taking the Federal Reserve notes. Well, you've discharged the debt. Or further, they are not allowed to make a determination if your instrument is valid. I sent a promissory note to a corporation. They can't tell me if the promissory note is valid or not. It has my signature on it. Oh, and that's what I was going to read. I think I can. Let me know if this will render for you and you can read the document. I put that right there. It's a PDF, but it's in a Dropbox and etc. Anyway, go click that and see if you can find it. And there's a reason why he puts all this stuff in there. Because what he put in there, let's see here. You'll understand very quickly. The document entitled Buyer's Representation Contract Exclusive is an unconditional promise to pay. That's all we have. The document entitled Buyer Representation Contract Exclusive is written. See, he's making sure that it follows all the things that are set out in the UCC. The document entitled Buyer Representation Contract Exclusive was signed. The document entitled Buyer Representation Contract Exclusive is dated because it has to be signed and dated. And it has to be written down. Okay. So the idea is once you start understanding the basics of the UCC, bill collectors will there isn't any money. Again, you start down the path and you realize there isn't any money. And then you'll start to realize that when you make an application for a loan, that's it right there. They're going to take that to the Federal Reserve window and make Federal Reserve notes out of your signature. Let's see here. But the idea that there isn't any money should set you free. And the way you fight these guys, and it becomes very clear, this is the guy that set up the system. Like, that's not even a joke. It's the Babylonian money magic system is awesome. And it's so simple once you understand it. But they've complicated it and made lots and lots and lots of words in the UCC and the United States Code to make it seem like it's a super complicated thing. Right now, and I think, oh, wait, I'll give you that. Well, come look later and I'll have links down here. There's a link from Brandon Joe Williams where he's talking with, who is he talking with? He's talking with, let me go look in my history, a professor of renown who has figured out that, and by the way, if anybody knows Jason, it's renown. Let's see here. And again, I am shocked and amazed at how many videos I watch. Let's see here. And then when I find it, I'll just click the link and then put it in there. Wait a minute. Is this my channel? Yes, it is. All right. Then it should be right here. All right. But this is a video that you really, really want to watch because he covers the concepts that are important to understand when it comes to A, discharging debt and dealing with bill collectors, and B, the concept of literally infinite money. We live in paradise, and there are a few that know how to take advantage of the paradise we live in. And then there are the many, that'd be us, that are clueless and don't understand 100% how the money system works, and they take advantage of that. Here's a link to that video. This is great. There you go. It's Andrew Kaufman, Dr. Andrew Kaufman. Let me give you the link right here. Watch that video. I've watched it twice now, and I still haven't gotten to the point where I'm taking notes. And I think I'm going to quit because we're already like 2.5 hours. So, but the point of that video is that there is a way to do things wherein no bill collector will stand against you. And neither of these lawyers, none of these guys, because there isn't any money. And the way you do that is with education, not with templates. It's becoming clear to some people that you can't just send shit in and expect it to stick. You have to know what your documents mean. Oh, and I didn't finish. I haven't finished quite a few stories, but I'll watch the video and I'll come back and we'll make another video and we'll cover that. But the concept that you are the source of everything needs to be understood, and then you need to know what to do with that knowledge. The other thing that I was going to say is that once you start to comprehend this information when it comes to debt and money, and the fact that this whole Babylonian money magic system is not what it appears, and they try to keep you as ignorant as possible for as long as possible, not because of the money. They don't want the money. They already have all the money again. But they want to keep you from, if you have money and leisure, then you have the time. Because I know people that don't have the time to read all the documents and read all the information and go through all the, the books and stuff like that. Kirk's Law Corner has a bunch of stuff there. And you don't have the time. Why? Because you're working 9 to 5. You barely have time for videos like this, right? And that's why I try to, if I'm going to do videos, I don't do these videos very often, and I try to bring information when I do. That first link that I bought in, that Ariel guy, has the goods on Flynn, has the goods on Liz Crokin, has the goods on Laura Logan, has the goods on all the guys in corporate media that are coming to mind, Ike, David Icke, and InfoWars, like almost all those, not just Alex Jones, like almost all those guys. Okay, if they're a talking head that is connected to one of the corporations, the chances are, use your discernment, but the chances are they're there to lead you astray. Simple as that. Or give you limited hangout information, or pacify you, or whatever. Because like I said, 100 million guns, 100 million. That's not these guys don't stand a chance. Now, here's the thing. Once again, these guys have done this and many other things that are punishable by death. And they're saying, well, you can't kill us, because if you kill us, first off, they're going to do whatever they can in the media to make it sound like, oh, he's going to do retribution and so forth. Oh, yeah, because let's see, you committed treason. And then you committed treason again. And then you committed treason some more. Let's see, you spied on a sitting president. Let's see here. You tried to get rid of the population with this thing in order to distract from the fact that you're doing this thing, and that you've been doing this for, I don't know, 50 or 60 years. And now you're thinking that you're not going to pay for it because they never have. There's been a lot of people that are pointing out the fact that the quote unquote bad guys have never been in this position where their friends who have been sworn to secrecy are actually outing them and, well, threatening to out them, right? Because these guys rule together, right? Like I said, left hand, right hand. These are red, blue, Democrat, Republican, conservative, labor, whatever on the planet. They rule you. In other places, it's kings and queens, but whatever. We got the goods on those guys too, because guess what? You can't be a king or a queen. And a lot of those kings and queens are involved in this, and they think it's their right. That's the other thing that disgusts me. They think us peasants, those are just little people. I've actually heard that with my own ears, not just on video and so forth. But I mean, the little people, why are you even worried about them, Ben? I don't know, because they're humans, because you shouldn't harm children, period. For whatever excuse, you just don't do it. And if you have, there should be some consequence. And they don't want the consequence. So what they're saying is, and they've done it before numerous times, they'll blow the whole fucking thing up before they give up power. And then they'll rule over the ashes and then build themselves up again, right? And then they'll tell you stories about, oh, go repopulate this place after we just fucking devastated it. Right? No, we made the first man and the first woman, right? To repopulate the earth. Right? Be fruitful and multiply, because they had just destroyed it, because perhaps we got a little too uppity with our tech. I don't know. I have no idea. But the fact of the matter is that it's a very, very small number of them. And they are scared to death that with this technology, we may discover them. And see, there's a lot of people like, I got 13 people watching and me. Are you really going to go sully yourself and go hunt these guys down? Probably not. But guess what? They're guys that are. They're guys that would. They're guys that have been trained to do so. And if they figure it out, and they happen to have huge amounts of training in sniping and weapons and so forth, and they get a wild hair up their ass, they might be able to take out a few of these guys. Oh, and what if they got organized? Even worse. So one, they want to make sure that nobody gets the wild hair up their ass, because you all remain ignorant and you don't realize how badly you're being fucked by these guys on a daily basis. They make you think that there might be some guy that's going to come and fix everything for you. And that we're going to have this lovely, hey, let's wave a flag and everybody be happy again. And we're going to be great. And everything's going to be just fine. Forget about all of the, adrenochrome. Oh, there's a great story going around that, and again, I can't verify, but this was a great story. One of those where if it's not true, it ought to be. We used to have that saying up in Idaho. Anyway, if it's not true, it ought to be true. So, and I will use the word over and over again because it'll just get me flagged. So let's see here. Let's take another pen. And okay. They intercepted, this is a story, I don't know, I have no verification, but I've heard it more than once. That still doesn't make it true. That they intercepted a large shipment or a large batch or a lot of this right here. And they poisoned it. And then with a very specific kind of poison. And then pretended like they didn't intercept it and just let it go to the various delivery points. And that's, again, a reason why you are not hearing from a lot of people, because they died or they got really sick. Can you think of anybody that got really sick? Can't tour anymore? Can you think of anybody? Anybody? Because that's the thing. We're thinking that evil has pointy in there, right, and looks nasty, and I might be evil because looking like this. But certainly, if you're beautiful and you can sing, you wouldn't be evil, would you? See, that's how they get you. But no, those people are actually some of the worst ones, actually. But anyway, the idea that I don't know if you've heard that story or not, but the fact that they poisoned some and got a lot of them that way, and almost all of them were still not these guys. These are the minions below them that got it. So, people in the entertainment industry, people in various governments, people in certain industries. Because you got to understand, a lot of the people in industries and the CEOs of those corporations, it sounds like crazy talk, but it's not. They're in league with these guys. This industry right here, when it comes to humans, is so huge that they can grind up the bones and put it in your cookies. They can grind up the bones and use it in cement. They can grind up the bones and use it for all kind of stuff that you wouldn't think they would. And some of the CEOs are privy to that and know what's going on, and they put it in their food. They call it processed food. Some of that processed food, you read the ingredients, and that might be most of the ingredients, might not be all of the ingredients. These people are sick beyond your imagination. See, this is the thing. They're so sick. They're so evil. They're so far past, you can't conceive of it, because you and I would never think of some of the things that these people do. All right. And again, if we all stay, this is the 100th monkey concept of this channel. If we all stay ignorant, nobody's going to go get these guys. But if there's a huge mass awakening, some people might take it upon themselves. And that's what this guy and all these other guys don't want to happen. We'll take care of it, peasants. Well, we're taking care of this. You don't have to do anything. Trust the plan. This guy's going to come in and everything's going to be fine. Okay, we'll see. But I wouldn't count on it. All right, educate yourself, educate others. I give you a couple links here. I always put links in the description. It may take me a while, but if you come back, you'll see just about all my videos have. Sometimes I get lazy and I don't get back and do it, but most of the time I put link after link after link. So this is what, 2.5 hours, and then if you do the links, you're looking at 40, 50 more hours of reading and videos and so forth. And then I will go back and look over, because man, there's a whole lot of comments that I didn't read, and they're distracting. So because when I look at the comments and then I get, oh, look, a squirrel. So I don't have the ability to multitask like that very well. But anyway, that's my little time for today. Like I said, that one Ariel guy calling out the people that you might have thought were on your team. Just making it clear one more time. If you see them, if they're famous, if they're on news, if they're on Fox News, if they're on ABC News, if they're on your TV, probably they're not on your team. They're whistleblowers, but they're only going to blow the whistle on the other guys. They're not going to blow the whistle on their guys. And their guys, I assure you, are involved in this. And if they're not involved in this, they know about this and are looking the other way. If you don't think the military brings in huge amounts of traffic because their ships don't get searched. And a lot of those sailors have no fucking idea what's in the box. And they better not look. Right? They have no idea what they're doing. Take this stuff and put it over there. And then once they get there, these other guys take this stuff and put it over there. And they don't know that the container has whatever the container has in it. And if they do know, that becomes problematic because most people are good and they don't just look the other way. They try to do something about it. And then they got to get killed. And then it's a big problem because it takes money to kill people. And see, they're starving. They're starting to run out of that money. But the idea that the one team is your team and has the same goals, hopes, and aspirations that you do is ridiculous. Stop it. Educate yourself. Educate others. E pluribus unum. And if we would e pluribus unum, these guys would be toast the next day. Okay, Crime Stoppers, that's all I got. I'll talk to you. Actually, I got a lot more, but I'm enough, and I want to eat some foods and pet the cat and so on, if you know what I mean. And then I don't know. I'll talk to you in a week or so or less. I'll try. Some people are telling me just try to do one a week. Just try to do one a week. All right, I'll try to do one a week. Oh, also, if you want to hit my Patreon, I'm happy to take $1. Just put $1 or $5 or whatever. And then I will say, the Patriot Pacification team that is Nino Rodriguez, his $5 a month thing for Nino's Corner, where he talks about all kind of stuff that will get you flagged or kicked off of this platform, might be worth your time. And the thing I like about that guy is he puts anybody on. Right? He tries to, I agree. It's this huge tapestry, this huge puzzle, and it's up to you to decide what's going on. So he brings people in that are on this side of the thing and on this side of the thing, and you got your Christians and you got your Bill Plonies and you got your all kind of, Anons and other people that won't show their faces, and you got that guy right there, the 107, and you got the all kind of people. And sometimes they say stuff that may or may not be true, and sometimes they will tell you things that you might want to know. And it's $10, or no, it's $5, $5 a month. So anyway, and I will try and go out there and continue to educate myself and find links and find information and so on, and then bring them to you here. And I'd appreciate it once in a while if you guys would put comments below. Almost never. Oh, this is the last thing for those of you that made it to the end, and some people just watched the last 5 minutes. I keep trying to sign off. Find currency, U.S. currency. Look at the dates. Find a bill that is past 2017. There's your homework, and nobody ever did their homework. So what you're looking for is any currency that's dated later than that. I've heard one story from people that say that there are a few 1s and 5s that were made in 2021, but pretty much they quit printing money after 2017. I mean, actual money. They're still making digits on the page and so forth, but the actual currency, the stuff that we use in everyday practice, there hasn't been any printed for going on 7 years now. I'm not sure if that's 100% true. So the idea is go and look through your pocketbook or wallet or whatever, if you've got some bills, and see if you can find anything past 2017. It's printed right on the bill. Okay, I'll talk to you guys. Bye. Take it easy, Crime Stoppers. Like I said, educate self, educate others. E pluribus unum, and I will, in fact, talk to you soon.